When a passenger refused to sit next to a calm black man, the flight went silent. She demanded the crew move him elsewhere, claiming she didn't pay first-class prices to sit beside people like that. The man didn't argue. He simply reached into his briefcase, pulled out a sleek badge, and handed it to the attendant. Moments later, the captain left the cockpit, pale, apologetic, and trembling. The passenger who'd tried to humiliate him was about to discover she'd insulted the CEO of the entire airline. The flight to London was full before sunrise. A crowd of executives, consultants, and travelers chasing deadlines in the clouds. At the center of it all sat a calm black man in seat 2A, quietly reviewing reports on his tablet. His name was Dr. Malik Harrow, a tech visionary who had built Harrow Dynamics into one of the world's largest innovation firms. What no one knew was that Malik wasn't just another first-class passenger. He was also the new CEO and majority investor of the airline carrying him across the Atlantic. He never traveled with assistants or bodyguards. He preferred to see how his company treated people when no one was watching. Moments before departure, a tall woman in an expensive suit boarded late, Claudia Rains, a consultant known for her arrogance and obsession with status. Her heels clicked like declarations of ownership as she approached the cabin. When she saw Malik sitting beside her assigned seat, her expression shifted from irritation to disgust. "Excuse me?" she said loudly enough for everyone to hear. "This seat is supposed to be empty." Malik looked up, voice calm. "It isn't. 2A and 2B are occupied." Claudia forced a laugh. "No, you don't understand. I paid for first class. I won't sit there." The purser, Evan Grant, stepped in nervously. "Is there a problem, ma'am?" "There will be," she snapped, pointing at Malik. "Move him somewhere else." "I'll wait," Evan froze. Passengers began turning their heads. Malik remained still, fingers resting lightly on his tablet. His silence made the air heavier. "Ma'am," Evan said cautiously, "this gentleman is seated correctly. His ticket—" "I don't care what his ticket says!" Claudia barked. "Do you know who I am?" Malik glanced up briefly. "No," he said. "Do you know who I am?" She rolled her eyes. Another entitled traveler pretending to belong. The words struck like venom. A murmur spread through the cabin. Evan swallowed hard and gestured for her to lower her voice. Claudia leaned closer. "I didn't pay $6,000 to sit next to—" "Enough," Malik said quietly, not raising his tone. "You've made your point." The captain's voice came over the intercom, announcing final checks. The tension was suffocating. Claudia crossed her arms. "Fine, but I'll be filing a complaint the moment we land." Malik didn't respond. Instead, he reached into his briefcase and pulled out a small silver case. Inside was a sleek black badge embossed with the airline's insignia and a nameplate, Dr. Malik Harrow, Chief Executive Officer. He handed it to Evan, who went pale. The purser blinked twice, realizing exactly what was unfolding in front of the entire cabin. Claudia frowned. "What is that supposed to be?" Evan's voice trembled. "Ma'am, this passenger is the CEO of our airline." The color drained from her face. "That's not possible." Malik met her eyes for the first time. "It's possible. And it's happening." The captain himself appeared moments later, summoned by a frantic whisper through the intercom. He saluted awkwardly. "Dr. Harrow, my apologies, sir. Had we known you were aboard?" Malik raised a hand. "You didn't need to know. I wanted to observe." Claudia was speechless now, her defiance cracking into panic. "Dr. Harrow, please, I didn't mean—" He stood slowly. His voice carried the quiet authority of a man who never needed to shout. "You meant every word. You believed status gave you value and difference gave you superiority." Passengers fell silent, some holding their breath. The captain waited for instructions like a soldier before a verdict. "Captain," Malik said calmly, "please escort Ms. Rains to her new seat." Her eyes widened. "What, my new—" He continued, "Seat 34E, near the lavatories. The one available for passengers who believe others don't belong." A few gasps rippled through the cabin. Claudia tried to speak, but words failed. Security arrived quietly to help with her bags. The same crew she'd insulted minutes earlier guided her down the aisle while cameras flashed from phones she couldn't stop. No one laughed. The silence was reverent, the kind of silence reserved for justice unfolding in real time. When the door closed again, Malik turned to the purser. "Continue boarding. Treat every remaining passenger as if they were me." "Yes, sir," Evan whispered. The flight took off 20 minutes late. The energy in first class had changed completely. Conversations were softer. Respect hung in the air like new oxygen. Halfway across the Atlantic, Malik walked the aisle. He stopped near the galley where the junior flight attendant stood stiffly, eyes full of fear. "You handled that well," he said. She exhaled shakily. "I didn't do anything." "You didn't join in," he replied. "That's sometimes enough." When they landed in London, the story had already gone viral. Dozens of passengers had uploaded clips of the confrontation under one title: Seat 2A, the CEO Lesson. By the time Claudia's company found out, she was trending across every platform for all the wrong reasons. The board terminated her contract the same day. She vanished from the news as fast as her apology appeared. A week later, Malik hosted a global press conference. Standing before reporters, he didn't mention her name once. Instead, he announced a new initiative. Respect will no longer depend on ignorance. Every crew member will be trained to act, not freeze, when dignity is on the line. The world applauded, but Malik only smiled faintly. Power, he knew, was never about revenge. It was about control, the kind that doesn't shout, but ends every argument with truth. And the man they tried to move didn't just keep his seat. He changed the rules of who gets to sit there at all. If you believe silence can expose arrogance louder than words, prove it. Like this video, share it everywhere, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from and which moment hit you hardest. Subscribe today and turn on notifications so you never miss stories where dignity rewrites power.